Yes, Gunner.
So, there are completely wonderful things that have been happening in the world. For example, the Pope has visited us on U.S. soil this past week.
Yes, I heard about that.
Everybody had Pope fever, and there was all this Pope merchandise, and I was like, why are we excited for D'Angelo De Niro? And when can a short guy get a high break? We'll talk about that more on the show. Let's get started.
Huh.
Hey everybody, and welcome to WOOO Get Serious, episode number 177. My name is Gunner, and that is Omega VR.
You didn't even know that D'Angelo De Niro has returned and is the commentator alongside Josh Matthews at TNA now. You didn't, did you?
I had heard something of the like, and I was going to jump into that, but yeah, there you go. Also, joining us this week is our wonderful technical producer, Mr. Yank of DDS.
I absolutely did not drop the keyboard accidentally hitting the enter button on the numpad, causing the theme song to play again after not noticing that the volume on Winamp was turned all the way down when I started it in the first place. That's NJ's fault, so negative 20 points NJ.
I heard nothing wrong with that broadcast. It was perfect on my end, so I don't know what you're talking about. Also, speaking of NJ, we have the negative one, Net Jester.
Things not going on here correctly is precisely what happened to last night's Raw, especially when you factor in the work evaluation. Also the English in that previous sentence. So let's give you some more English here, and we're going to go.
The English was fine, the grammar, perhaps.
Well, English.
Comma, said I.
There you go. News. Vince McMahon is said to be freaking out over the declining Raw ratings, which usually happens around this time of year. He also changed his mind about the Lesnar-Undertaker Hell in a Cell match, which was originally pegged for WrestleMania, because he feels it's time to end the feud. The call was made this week to slow down Eva Marie's push and focused on Dana Brooke and Asuka. Hoping they can continue the trend of great women's main events and inspire others who want to lead the division, such as Carmella and Eva herself.
Eva leading the Divas division.
It's gonna happen
women's
one
division.
day. It's gonna happen one day when Eva Marie will bury Asuka in 3 minutes on Raw with a roll up.
Whose fucking dick is she sucking? Because she is not. Ugh.
The only one that matters, Laurinaitis.
It's gotta be, and I don't mean that in a
anymore.
sexist way at all. I would say the same thing about any dude with her fucking talent level. I would ask whose dick he was sucking to be there. Because she is not good in the ring. She can't even hit the fucking ropes right.
She's got better. She's got better.
Laurinaitis isn't there anymore.
Oh, well, that's true.
So, my question...
Is it that guy on whatchamacallit, Total Divas? Whatever the hell his name is? They keep talking to?
Wait a minute, wasn't that her past boyfriend?
No, not the... Wow. Okay, first and foremost, Chester, no. We're talking about...
Oh, maybe she is. Or he is.
Oh, God. John Laurinaitis. We're talking about...
Talking about
Johnny Ace! Jesus Christ.
Hey, by the way, you got The Undertaker versus Lesnar at Hell in a Cell, which is fine and dandy, but who's Lesnar going to face at WrestleMania? Because it's not going to be The Undertaker, obviously. It's not going to be Stone Cold. And it's not going to be The Rock, because they still have him penciled in for a match with Triple H.
They also have him not penciled in at all, technically. From what I understand.
Who, The Rock?
Yeah.
Well, not locked in, but they did swap The Rock from alumni to current roster on the website today.
That's interesting.
So that means
more of that.
A bunch.
And
why are they wasting? Why are we Well, this might be a good topic for the 15 minutes. I'll abstain.
Alright, so with Lucha Underground Season 2 in the works, the budget has been decreased from the original $400,000 per episode, but will still tape in Los Angeles. There are talks of a potential TV deal with Televisa Channel 5, which would give them more exposure in Mexico than AAA, CMLL, or even WWE. Hernandez has officially been released from the company. Also, there was a wrestler's court held against referee Gino Colucci backstage at the September 19th Ring of Honor taping, where BJ Whitmer was judge and Michael Elgin cleared Colucci of what were apparently very minor charges. However, ROH CEO Joe Koff found out and sent a stern memo to the talents telling them to never do it again, especially before a TV taping where they should be focusing on their performances.
Oh, so wrestling court is verboten, yeah?
Okay, first and foremost, where was the German in that? Second off, what are you doing? What are you doing? I do not understand what you are doing. Thank you. Okay, this is not surprising with me that if the budget has decreased, their episodes should decrease. If they went with a 26 episode season as opposed to a 39 episode season, I think that they could do a lot better. Because there's 26 episodes in a season of a lot of things. Anime is usually the culprit of this. Traditional television that you would find that would go throughout the year. Essentially, all those big shows that are starting, they do about those numbers. Like Family Guy and all that stuff. So I don't understand why they need that many. And the wrestler's court thing, okay, Koff is a fucking wrestling dweeb when he's like, don't do wrestler's court because it's not going to help you focus on your TV tapings. Are you kidding me?
Seriously, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck are they supposed to be doing beforehand?
They're supposed to be focusing. They're supposed to be
focusing on fucking what? Like they're supposed to, okay, we're going to do this spot, and then I'm going to do this spot. You want to do that spot? Let's do this other spot instead. Okay, and then what? You just jerk off for a little bit, and then hop in the shower, go to your match, hop in the shower, and leave. I don't get it.
Well, I think it's a fair point to be had when you don't want this wrestler's court thing to become a wholly negative experience where talent, particularly non-wrestlers like referees, feel that they could be taken to court and, kind of harassed and hazed and that kind of thing. Although, from the sound of it, this one really wasn't that, and it was just sort of a lighthearted affair, and it was, a jolly time had by all, and maybe not even something that they do regularly, just something they decided to do because,
the situation dictated itself. Yeah, it's something you need to do.
Yep.
I mean, it's just to settle issues in a public manner. I mean, it's not anything that's gonna get. If anything, it's a bonding exercise. So I don't see anything wrong with wrestler's court, to be perfectly honest, because it's just a fucking work anyways, and it's an excuse to get it all out there on the line and do it in a healthy group manner. So there you go. But beyond that, The other thing on here was Lucha Underground. Okay, we already talked about that. So let's get to the last thing. Megan, do you want to get into that?
Well, it seems that Carlito has actually already been offered an offer from WWE. However, he turned it down because the money was way too low. Apparently, WWE has plans for him to come in as part of the new repackaging of Los Matadores.
Oh, for the love of fuck!
Why are you surprised?
Also, the fan who hopped the rail at Night of Champions claimed he did it for the WWE Universe. Whatever that means.
No, he's lying. It's obvious. He did it for The Rock. He did it for the people.
Either way, he only spent 3 days of his scheduled 10 in jail because of good behavior. Jim the Anvil Neidhart attempted to open his own shirt store on ProWrestlingTees.com, but WWE has blocked it, citing an exclusive merchandise contract with him, prompting responses from Colt Cabana and CM Punk on Twitter. And Eric Bischoff appeared on Ric Flair's podcast, where Bischoff claimed that WCW was making all of $40 in merchandise sales until Hulk Hogan arrived. And Flair revealed the worst thing he was ever asked to do in the company was job to Conan.
I'm not surprised by WWE trying to block Neidhart having a wrestling shirt store on another website because they need that money.
Define need.
Well, the need.
Oh, okay. We're not talking like
Need.
they just
Need that money.
yeah.
Let's talk about Carlito here for a second. I want to see him back in the company. I wouldn't mind seeing him repackaged because with those guys, because it would be nice to see them going up against whatchamacallit, the New Day. It would be a nice foil.
Right, but I don't want them to be Los Matadores because
No, it won't be Los Matadores, I promise.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood. I thought they were going to repackage Los Matadores. They'd still be. Let's be honest. It's going to be something very Hispanic.
No,
I'd be very happy
think-
if they were all like. Oh, I'd be very happy if they just all decided to go with a little bit more of a harder edge to their characters, and they decided that like they mixed like primetime players and like they wanted to put a little Scarface into it and a little bit of Razor Ramon into it. Because if Carlito came back, they would become a little more serious.
No, I think it's going to be Colby, Kenneth, and Carlton White. The illegitimate stepbrothers of Kerwin.
I would probably mark for that.
Yeah, why not?
Do you think he would turn into Kerwin White again?
Wait, no, he was never Kerwin White.
No, I know. Do you think that Chavo would turn into go Kerwin White again?
I don't know that he could unless he came back to the WWE.
No, I don't
That's
think
what I'm
he would.
asking.
I don't think he would.
I don't think he would agree to that, but unless the money was right, and I wouldn't blame them if they said, "Hey, we'd like to throw $100,000 at you to come be Kerwin White for a while." I'd be like, "Sign me up! Where's my sweater vest and golf cart?" Hell, I'd go out there and throw shekels at the crowd if they offered me $100,000.
I bet you'd throw shekels at the crowd.
Yeah, you just proved your own gimmick.
Okay. $1 Million Man's already done that, so.
He didn't throw shekels. He threw, like, fake dollars. I'm talking about real shekels. I would toss real shekels into the crowd.
Would stand for that for a second.
I'm not sure what the conversion rate is, but I'm pretty sure it's low.
Oh, God. All right. So that's the news. Let's get into the 15-minute time limit.
Shekels, for the record, are 1 shekel is 0.25 US dollars. So, it would cost like nothing to throw, a big bag of shekels into the crowd. You spend $50 and you've got a ton of them.
I will reiterate.
That would not totally be surprising.
Are still money. Form ever throw money away.
So, how about that Kane?
How about that Kane? All right, we're going to talk about Kane here for the 15-minute time limit, and a few other topics too, because that's been on my mind. So as you can see, Kane has turned into an extremely interesting character here. In my opinion, one of the best characters that he's ever played. Better than his 2011 run about the same time of year when he was doing, Super Demon Kane, and he was the World Heavyweight Champion, and just as good as Team Hell No. But this gimmick is just hilarious.
Yes, let's get facts. This is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde for a new generation, and it's, Kane being funny Kane is damn good, and then when he transforms into Demon Kane, you also get that slasher horror movie vibe that the monster cannot be stopped.
I think it started funny, but it's not funny anymore. Especially after last night, when he just banged on that leg, and then stomped it, and then just started walking. You knew shit was real. And then he gets into the ring and gets hit with the chair, and he just stands there and takes it, like when fucking Kane originally showed up in the WWE, like that badass demon. Oh my god, I marked so fucking hard. I fanboyed all over myself. I cannot wait to see where this is going to go, and as long as they don't fuck it up, which, dear God, please don't let them fuck it up and keep going comedy with it, because it needs to be serious. This needs to be a serious thing now. He doesn't need to go back to being Director of Operations Kane. He needs to be Demon Kane all the time. And he also needs to cut the stupid hair off that fucking mask.
Oh, God, I disagree with you so much. I totally disagree with you so much.
The hair looks stupid.
We're not even talking about the hair, for crying out loud. All right, hang on just 2 minutes, will you? The reason that this is so good is because of the dichotomy in between the two different faces of Kane. Your corporate Kaneism is literally just trying to be a guy who's enthusiastic, yet still trying to hold on to a spot in the company and being Mr. Johnny Happy Sunshine. And you've got a direct conflict and contrast with the demon who does this bang on the leg, bam, the leg is whole again. Get hit with a chair, bam, nothing happens. Like the horror movie villains of old, like your slasher villains who, they get shot with a...
Yes, exactly. Exactly, and that's the Kane that we need. I think what you're missing is that Happy Corporate Kane, since he came back, was all an act. None of that was real. The Demon Kane was there the whole time. He was just pretending to do that, and we saw glimpses of it.
But I think, hold on a second, and I'm going to say something really blasphemous here. You are correct in what you are saying, that the Demon King is there all the time, and that this is exactly that. But Netchester is also right as well in saying that the dichotomy and the contrast between the happy-go-lucky, hey, I'm just Corporate Kane, I'm just Glenn, you could call me Glenn, that kind of thing, where you would imagine him being a character in The Office. If that part of it is interesting, because it's just the whole gimmick making fun of itself, because that you got these two, you got a supernatural creature, and then you got, hey, I'm Glenn. and you got to display that somehow, and it's both his gimmick. I mean, that's both Kane's gimmick at this point. Corporate Kane is still Kane, and that's the big problem. And I think that's the big problem you're having with this, is because you don't like Corporate Kane, and you don't want Corporate Kane.
I love Corporate Kane. I do. I love Corporate Kane. But what I love more is badass Demon Kane, who came in and ripped the fucking door off the cage and climbed in and beat the shit out of the Undertaker. And
I understand what you're saying, but you got to realize this too. Kane kind of killed 7 people and sent them to hell. You realize that, right? All those paramedics, right? All that smoke was supposed to be Demon Kane, right? He was supposed to be Demon Kane coming out of, hellfire, brimstone, that kind of thing, right? So he literally sent 7 people to hell.
By the way, I'd just like to throw in this 2 cents as a slap in the face to Vince. Vince, if you're going to get the exact same people to work the exact same crew as your fake paramedics, you really need to rethink your creative shit. Really? The exact same people.
But they don't matter. They don't matter. That complaint is pretty invalid. That's in my opinion, because they're all just indie workers or NXT workers that need time on the road. Stop it.
And by the way, that was Anthony Nese.
Anthony Nese!
Who got completely chucked into Bray Wyatt. Or no, was it? Did Bray toss him? Or
Bray tossed him in the Roman.
Yeah, that's right. That was pretty cool, I gotta admit.
That was fucking hilarious.
Honestly, that and the, not to change the subject, but that and the spear which was really more of a spear into a tackle, into a spine
falling
buster.
into the table.
Yeah. I thought they did more in that one segment than in 5 months of this feud, or however long it's been.
Yep. Because they let them go. They did a beautiful job of letting them go. And to continue on with this subject, to segue here, that match last night was pretty awesome. And it wasn't awesome because it was the two of them, because because work rate wise, it was pretty mediocre. But otherwise, wow, I was impressed.
We're impressed with the fact that these two actually had a decent match, which, let's face it, Roman Reigns is not known for having solo decent matches.
I have this feeling they still want Roman to be the main eventer of WrestleMania, and I don't know if they haven't been shoving him down our throats like they were, but I'm afraid they will once we get back to Royal Rumble season and all that. He hasn't quite won us over yet. Stuff like that does. I wouldn't be surprised to see the two of them in the cell coming up here. Maybe that'll change a few minds. And by the way, just my 2 cents on Kane. I like it, but it's one of those things that really kind of writes itself, and you have to go the extra mile to make it more interesting instead of what's expected. Like, for example, the segment where Corporate Kane presents Seth with his own severed head, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
That was nice.
That was I did really like that when he gave him his own head, and Seth was like, I gotta go. See you later.
And then Kane left it with that HR person.
And apparently that whole evaluation storyline was partly inspired by real-life events, specifically the whole Bill DeMott thing.
Really?
That's what they're telling me.
Who?
The internet.
Oh, those guys.
You know, WWE has that new network special this Saturday, live from Madison Square Garden, that they kind of did a big push for last night with the main event, Lesnar versus Big Show, which, by the way, it's not really much of a main event. Especially when you think back to Royal Rumble when Lesnar beat him in under 5 minutes and basically tore into him the entire time with a chair.
Yeah, it's an interesting dichotomy that they're doing there, because it's like, we saw this match already, and it's going to be on a house show. And the funny thing is that they're running NXT the same day, and I'm going to be watching NXT the same day.
Well, just a quick rundown of what's advertised so far for this house show. You got Randy Orton versus Sheamus. You got Rusev versus Dolph Ziggler. You got Kevin Owens versus Chris Jericho for the Intercontinental Championship.
Ooh.
You got the New Day versus the Dudleys, and it's not totally clear whether that's for the tag titles or not. You've got Seth Rollins versus John Cena steel cage match for Cena's U.S. title, and of course you've got Lesnar versus Show. So it's a little higher end than your average house show, granted. But it does have a very house show feel, you know. I'm finding it hard to get really excited
because it was a house show. It is a house show. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying, is that, you know, they really haven't done very much except for the Lesnar appearance and I guess Jericho to present this as anything other than a typical house show, except since it's televised, I wouldn't expect any of the typical house show shenanigans that kind of make those worthwhile without the thrill of storylines and TV and all that. So
Right.
you kind of, if it's that middle ground, then, you know, where it's basically a match, kind of like the Japan special, which wasn't bad. You know, the matches were good and everything, but it was essentially just, you know, here's a match, here's a match, here's a match. And these matches don't really seem like they'll be as good as the Japanese special. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Owens and Jericho has the potential to be a really, really
In
good
MSG?
match.
Oh my god. In MSG, guys. Think about that for a second.
I mean, I'm probably going to have to watch it on the network at some point. Jesus, just for that match. Like, that match alone is enough to hook me.
Well, I was only in MSG once, so I can't really, you know, make any decisions or about that. But, you know, this card could be anything. It could be good, could be bad, could be happy, could be sad. All that it depends on, and I won't sing anymore, is that, you know, they can't just really make it seem or broadcasted across the network as just your atypical house show. They've got to build it up to special event levels. And will they be doing anything like bringing out the Titantron, or will we just have the house show stage, or will we have special lighting? What'll go on here? Nobody knows still.
Because it's MSG, it'll be special, no matter what it is. So, I mean, to worry about that would be kind of frivolous at this point. But at the same time, I can understand I understand your point slightly.
Well, I'm sure, you know, they've run MSG with just that really basic. I wouldn't be surprised if it's not the house show stage, which is basically a video wall and a couple of light bars. I think they might bust out the video doors, which we've seen before, Survivor Series when they ran MSG. Probably most recently the Royal Rumble, where Cena came back from injury, surprise as number 30 as a surprise. I guess it kind of depends on how many tickets they've actually sold. They haven't mentioned it's sold out or anything. Not that I think there's going to be big gaps in the seating. But again, yeah, that's kind of
MSG always sells out, though.
Yeah, but well, not always.
Yeah, just about. I don't remember a time when MSG didn't sell out.
Well, Well, they haven't said that it is yet, so I guess that's my... If it does between now and Saturday, then, I'm sure they'll bring it up. But
Let me take a look. I'll try to see if I can find tickets. But I'm excited about it. It should be interesting, but I'm more excited about seeing NXT this weekend, because I get to do that.
yeah, I would be as well. In fact, they mentioned on The Observer this week that there was talk, I think last year, of potentially making NXT a regular part of Raw, although it was shot down.
Let me guess. Hi, Vince.
That's what they should. I'd be fine with if the first hour of Raw was NXT, so that instead of having 3 hours of Raw, I could have an hour of NXT and then 2 hours of Raw. That'd be fantastic.
Much better.
Honestly, I'm going to disagree and say it's probably a good idea they didn't do that. Because for two main reasons. Number one, NXT regularly seems to outperform the main roster in terms of excitement and match quality and all that. So if you have NXT killing it in the first hour and then here's Raw, well then, that's when you start to have problems. And secondly, just the simple transition. The fact that once people do graduate from NXT and they come to the main roster portion of the show, and then, you go from, Sasha Banks and Bayley in a 30-minute match to Sasha Banks and Tamina versus Brie Bella and Alicia Fox for, maybe 5, 6, 7 minutes. Then, it's a lot more noticeable when you stack it side by side, especially with the casual audience, a lot of whom probably don't have the network and probably don't know a lot about NXT except for what they are told on Raw. So, especially if it was a decision last year, because, NXT hasn't really built steam the way it has over this past year until now. And I'm not sure that would have happened if it was next to Raw, which, by the way, maybe they start booking NXT more like Raw, which would be an even bigger problem. So I don't mind that got shot down. And by the way, TNA's Bound for Glory is this Sunday from Charlotte.
Nobody cares.
Maybe, but I'll watch it next weekend.
I don't think I've cared about TNA beyond if they're going to go off the air or not. Because otherwise, this just seems to be a boring product to me. Is anybody else feeling this way?
Well, I don't have the channel it's on, so I'd watch it if I could, but still. Okay, so the WWE at MSG, why the big show, Kane. We've got 2 other topics here. Should we get into the Divas and is there anyone Kofi Kingston can't job to?
Well, we've only got about 2 minutes left, so to answer the secondary question, it's no. Kofi Kingston could job to Satan himself. And then Divas, well, what are you going to do?
Well, I'm more interested, quite frankly, in the treatment of Cesaro lately. Cesaro not on Raw. Mick Foley actually spoke out about it, saying, what are they doing, not using this guy? I think he was on Main Event this week, and he hasn't really been a part of the equation since he and Owens kind of had that feud that went nowhere.
Yep, it's just Vince misusing people once the crowd gets on their side. We've seen this time and time again. We've seen this with Zack Ryder. We've seen this with Daniel Bryan, and now we're seeing this with Cesaro.
For the last fucking time, right before I hit the buzzer, I'm going to explain this, and that it's never going to happen again. His name is Daniel Bryan. There is no T at the end. Bryant is a basketball player for the Los Angeles Lakers. Bryan is arguably one of the most technical wrestlers, or the best technical wrestlers of all time. Gunnar, did he say Bryant?
I heard Brian.
Jacob, are you currently shoveling carts at your at the Tesco?
Wait, what?
Oh, just that background noise. That's all.
Oh, I'm sure that's the puppies because I foster dogs. So we have puppies running around, and I'm sure they're making all kinds of noise because they are large puppies, one of which is 6 months old and roughly 60-something pounds.
Good Lord, man, you've got D-Dog.
Alright, I'm hungry.
I could eat.
Who's, Omega, you're driving. Net Jester, you're paying. And we're going to...
Blizzards.
With the ratings, it's going to be, Yankum DDS.
Impact drew 272,000. That's up from the 258,000 that it drew previously. And ROH, ROH got a big jump to 168,000 from 89,000. That's almost a 50% increase. That's really good. I actually watched some of it the other day. I happened to be flipping through channels, and there was ROH, and I was like, let me watch some of this. And it was pretty good, what I had time to see. So SmackDown drew 2.183 million, up from last week's 2.083. Raw drew 3.333333333333 million viewers. That's down. That's pi is 3.14. No, down 0.5% from 3.349 million and a new non-holiday low. That's it for the ratings because we don't have ratings for anything. There's nothing else on, I guess, wrestling-wise.
And okay, so now we're gonna go into the birthdays with Net Jester.
And so with the birthdays today, on the 29th of this week, we have Bino Gambino, Toji Makabe, David Sammartino, and Yoshihiro Tajiri, the Japanese buzzsaw. Uh-oh.
Oh, I thought Gunner did that. No?
No, that wasn't. No, that was you.
I didn't realize that happened. My bad.
Sorry.
Somebody's got fat thumb syndrome. But to continue, on the 30th of this month, we have Adam Pac-Man Jones, Candice Michelle, and Chris Von Erich of the Von Erich family. On October 1st, we have Rico Constantino, Robbie E., Hector Guerrero, and Devin Moore. On the 2nd, we have Jun Akiyama, El Dandy, and the legendary Yokozuna. On the 3rd, we have Bullet Bob Armstrong of the Armstrong clan, Danny Basham, Mikey Batts, Max Payne, and the Prince of Parkour himself, John Morrison. On the 4th, we have Abyss, the legendary Chief J. Strongbow. Seriously? You want me to mention this guy? I mean, can't we all just agree that he was a bad dream that we all woke up from? Seriously?
Just read the fucking names, Net Jester.
On the 4th, we have Mike Adamley. Oh, boy. Rounding out this week on the 5th, we have DJ Z and Terry Reynolds.
And now for This Week in Wrestling with Omega DR.
Yes, this week in wrestling history, circa 1985, where in the biggest angle of his short career, Rick McGraw appears on Piper's Pit during a WWF television taping in Poughkeepsie, questioning why Piper never wrestled on television, setting up a match between the two at the next television taping later in October. Piper managed to pin McGraw after a vicious series of neck breakers, and McGraw was taken out on a stretcher. McGraw then died on November 1st, the same weekend that Piper match. The Piper match aired in most television markets. Jump to 1993, where CMLL holds their 60th anniversary show at Arena Mexico in Mexico City, drawing 18,000 fans for a show headlined by Negro Casas defeating La Fiera in a hair versus hair match, and Atlantis defeating Mano Negra in a mask versus mask match. And in 1999, the Honky Tonk Man defeats Bob Starr for the MEWF heavyweight title in Dundalk, Maryland. And that was This Week in Wrestling History.
Happy Trails to Hornswoggle, who was suspended for 30 days for violating the WWE villainous policy. There's a rumor going around that he did not actually test positive for a banned substance, but could not or would not provide a sample, which is just as good as a positive test. And happy trails to Sunny, who was arrested on Wednesday due to her bench warrant after she missed her previous hearings. She got out Friday on a $2,000 bond and a zero-tolerance drug policy, and is due back in court December 7th. And with that, it's you, buddy.
Alright, we're in the points. Not a lot of points this week. Omega BR, you scored 0 points. 0 points. What are you doing with your life? So here's how it went. Negative 272 points to NetJester for showing up. Negative 20 points to NetJester for fucking up the theme. And negative 50 points to NetJester. Stupid random German accents. Jawohl. 25 points to Gunner for team building exercises. 25 more points for telling me that I'm correct. And then negative 30 points for saying that NetJester is correct. Ever. It just can't happen. So, this show, NetJester is at negative 342, Gunner's at 20 points, Omega with 0. That brings the total scores to NetJester, negative 34,003, Gunner 124, and Omega BR 313 points. Also, I'm trying to figure out how to turn it into a chart. I don't know if that's possible yet, but
Oh yeah, it is. You can there's a way to do it. I just forgot what it is. We'll talk later. Match suggestions. NetJester, which we watched this week in wrestling. NetJester.
Sorry, I just got back from the bathroom. Since nothing happens in the last segment, I just thought it was time to, take a break. Anyway, let's see. Something off the top of my head that's one of my favorite matches that I haven't seen for proverbial while. Oh, how about ECW's very first pay-per-view, where we had the amazing match of Michinoku Pro Wrestling, Taka Michinoku, and two others, which I can't remember, versus Men's Teo, the Great Sasuke, and, okay, I can't remember the participants, but that was a damn great match on the very first ECW pay-per-view. Go watch it again.
Yeah, good. What should we watch this week in wrestling? Excuse me.
oh, fucked if I know. If I have to take a random stab at it, how about... I didn't get to watch that Xavier Woods and Cena match because as soon as it started, I had to go do other things, which annoyed me greatly because, Xavier Woods, even if it is versus Cena. So I'm going to go watch that. I guess you watch it too. If you've seen it already, then fuck yeah, I don't know what to tell you. Is my mic not working? What's going on?
Your mic is working. Omega BR, what should we watch this week in wrestling?
I'm going to say the Skyscrapers versus the Skyscrapers versus I believe it was the Road Warriors in 1990. I believe it was Wrestle War 1990.
Ooh, I know that match. That's a good match. That's actually a good match. I'm not just saying that to agree with you and be a hipster.
For the record, that was Sid Vicious and Mark Callis, right?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Let's see here. What I'm going to suggest this week actually is from Halloween Havoc 1995, I believe it was. Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio Jr. I believe that was the match. I could be wrong. Or was it Chris Jericho, Rey Mysterio Jr. at 95? Hold on, I'm looking.
In the meantime,
Hundred in the danger zone east of the Pacific Ocean, west of London, England, south of Mars, and north of hell.
I had the year wrong. It was just 97 as opposed to 95. So there you go. All right. I think that's it.
oh, there was one other thing.
And what's that?
Fuck, it's not working.
It has always been a fantasy of mine to be his sex slave for two bears, male and female, pleasing the male while he's tired and vice versa. Slowly sliding my lips up and down his slick shaft, tasting his precum on my tongue. Once he's had enough of that, he rolls over onto his back.
That. Come back, Mints. We love you.
Alright, thank y'all for listening. This has been number 177 of WOOO Gets Serious. You can check us out at smarksnark.com or Spreaker.com/smarksnark. You can also check us out on Facebook.com/smarksnark, Twitter.com/smarksnark. What else do we got?
Smarksnark@gmail.com and also 812-408.
WOOO.
I didn't have the damn thing ready. I thought I did. It's not as much fun. There we go. Yeah. That's 812-408-9666. Give us a call. You can also add us on Skype, which is Serious Podcast, SRS Podcast. Add us on Skype. We do not screen calls. If you call in, you'll just be on the air. It automatically accepts. You can come on the air and be like, Baba Booey, Howard Stern's penis. And I won't be able to stop it until, I reach over and click disconnect and boot your ass off the show. Also, you can join us on TeamSpeak. If you want to be part of the show, we want you to be part of the show too. So you can call in, and you can also just join us on the TeamSpeak. It's Nutnik Studios, that's NUDNIK studios.clants.net. I really have to figure out how to do a domain redirect on that so we can have a shorter URL for that. But join us on TeamSpeak. Come be part of the show. We want you here. You want to be here. You just don't know it. All three of you that listen, you can come be on the show and then listen to yourselves on the show, and it'll be fun for you.
It could be. Alright guys, thank you very much for listening, and remember, we wish you well in your past, present, and future endeavors.
Jesus!
So, anyone want chicken noodle soup?
Good night, Modesto.